Welcome to the Jamodi podcast, where we interview coaches and leaders to find out not just what they do, but how they do what they do. Becoming the best version of ourselves is Jamodi, just a matter of doing it. How do you teach shooting in your program?
Yeah, we work on it constantly. I believe you can change a person's shot. I believe not major reconstruction. Probably we're not recruiting them if it requires that. But there are some players, they just have a skill set that's worth what they do other than shooting is good enough that you're willing to
Sean
take.
Marion.
Yeah,
Sean Marion right there.
No doubt. Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
Where he wasn't a shooter, obviously Marion was capable and a good shooter. But the unorthodox, I don't know at that level if I would it's worked pretty well for him. I don't know that I would fit. But I do believe it's muscle memory. And so I think shooting is the most worked on skill and probably the least developed. Everyone goes in the gym, they pick up a ball and they start shooting. There might be some ball handling here and there, maybe some passing, but by and large, they're shooting. And yet, to me, they're either developing good habits or they're reinforcing bad ones. And so I just want our guys, when they go in the gym, to evaluate the quality of shot they're taking. I don't think there should be casual shooting, because I think it's one, concentration so big in the shots that you take and just being locked in on it. I've never been the type guy, when I shoot, I want to make every shot. It's not I made 8 of 9. I wanted to make number 9 too. I'm more disappointed on a miss than I am sitting there jubilant over all the makes. One thing when I was still playing, Joey Wright, a former player at University of Texas, he had just been cut by the Phoenix Suns. He came to play on our team, and I had played against him when I was at Tech, but I didn't really know him. And it was the year Kevin Johnson had been drafted to the Suns. Jeff Hornacek was going from point guard to shooting guard, and I always thought Hornacek was a great shooter, but he was having to develop his shooting because he was a guard coming in. And he was doing this drill every day, and he had showed Joey, and then Joey showed it to me, and it's so simple that you just take 5 form shots from 7 spots, and these are about 15 footers. You start on you're just in a perfect textbook stance, elbow in, follow through, guide hand, etc. And you just come up on your toes. You don't leave your feet. You hold your follow through for 1 or 2 seconds. And you're going to shoot 10 at the foul line. So the 7 spots with 10 being the foul line equal 40 shots. And you just chart how many you make, 35, 36, whatever your improvement is. And then you can move it back to the 3, and you're still not jumping. So it's requiring all these muscles in your body to fire at the same time. From the tips of your toes to the end of your follow through, you are inviting your whole body to be engaged in the shot. And it forces you to be on balance because you have to stay on your toes. And, kids will think there's no way I can do it from 3. And then they get to where they can. And then you might back them up. And it's one of those drills, it's okay to fail out at beginning, because sometimes you got to take a step or 2 back to then make the progress forward. But we just call it Phoenix Suns, and we'll do that a lot. And it's just muscle memory. And I remember Joey, when he got there, he and I would go work out, and he was like, let's do this Hornacek drill. And I was just like, man, my shot, it's consistent, it's grooved, it feels great. And my range, we were playing with the NBA 3 then. We're in the Global Basketball Association way back then, when it was kind of competing with the Continental Basketball Association, which nowadays would be the G League. But there was a lot of really good players. And, man, Joey Wright had just come from the NBA. I was like, let me do this. So I did it every day. And I just thought it was a huge contributor to my shooting. And I felt like I was a good shooter up till then. But I never remember anyone saying, hold your follow through. It was just kind of the beef, balance, elbow, eyes, follow through. But no one had really broken it down beyond that. And I do think, kind of like a golf swing or something, you can get somebody so in their own head they can't even do it. But I also think that it's good to, these are the parameters. So I would just say a straight shot's a great shot. We just want to finish with a 1 second follow through, and then just make a quick inventory. Did I miss right, left, long, or short? And let's make an adjustment. It starts with the feet. we say fight for your feet. You know, when the ball's in your hands, your feet need to be on the ground, or the feet are in the air ready to come down right into a quick. We call it square in the air. And I used to be square in the air or bust, but I've kind of now it's whatever the player feels more comfortable with. I just don't want to travel. And that just goes back to our basketball philosophy at large. Let's don't beat ourselves. Let's turnovers. We're like, we've led our league the last few years in fewest turnovers. We're first in the nation, I think, assist to turnover ratio this year. So I feel like some of those Villanova passing footwork, I think that's helping. I travels, and Joey Wright told me this when Tom Penders was at Texas. They kind of the big jump stop. I don't know if you remember that. I know you're a little younger than me, but it was like Travis Mays, Joey Wright, Lance Blanks, and they were just going in there making these huge power jump stops. And he said, "Yeah, if you travel, Coach Penders goes nuts. That's the one thing stand is a travel." And so, you know, therefore his guys didn't travel. I mean, it's what you emphasize, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think a quick release. You know, I always just tell guys, like, a shot is the same if you're in the gym by yourself or 2 seconds left and you're highly contested if you're locked in on the target. And so have a quick release, because then it comes down to, you know, why are you open? Why are you not? How quickly can you get it off? And, you know, like a Steph Curry, he doesn't always hold his follow through, but these are like the Tide level guys.
Yeah, you got to be careful how you mirror yourself off of the outliers of the outliers. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. So to me, it's like follow through, 1 second, one that's the muscle memory, the ball's going straight. Even if everything else is jacked up, you've at least finished well on your shot, and then we can maybe break it down from there. The shot selection's huge. We talk about that all the time. We shoot a ton in practice, but they're game shots. They're coming off screens. They're coming off the dribble. They're driving and kick. We're trying to incorporate the shots we're going to get in our offense onto the floor. And so, you know, I think most programs would say that's what they're doing, but we're doing it every day, and we're competing at it. And we're doing things like we might have to make 3 in a row for one to count. So guys are like, you know, you're not just getting up 20 minutes of shots, but they're 20 minutes of quality reps. And there's pressure because if you miss 3 in a row, it's a negative one.
Oh, so, I like that. I like that.
Yeah. So it keeps the drill. And then we might say we're going +5, -2. So if we get to -2, we might have a down and back, or we call it a 12, just 2 trips sideways in 12 seconds. Just something to keep us locked in. It's not a big punishment, but a little bit of a reminder, like, come on, let's go. And, you know, we had a really good year shooting the ball. I mean, some of that's recruiting, obviously, but I do think a lot of it is the skill and the things we put into it. And we're always telling, like, I'll text the guys, the gym's open these times today. And we have charts on the table where we have some drills that are probably about 7 or 8 drills. They take about 2 minutes each. And we're charting it, and we'll post it like, you know, you're 10th in this drill. You're the 10th best shooter. Of course, you're appealing to their ego, their pride, and their competitive spirit a little bit to see where they are in that. And then we'll set program records, like this is the program record. And
for the different games or drills that you do. Yeah.
So guys kind of like, I'm going to break that record. And so it's cool to just see those guys they want to be in the gym. While they're in there, they're concentrating. And they're not asking them to be in there all day.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not use the gun some, but not a ton. I think there's value in chasing your rebound, bringing it back out, making a move, getting a shot. Just when you're not casual shooting, but when you're just shooting and maybe not doing real, the gun's a great resource, but being careful how much we use it. And sometimes you just shoot, the next one's there, and you haven't really evaluated. You didn't have to down that miss. You didn't have to dribble it back, get reorganized, start, you know, whatever the process may be. So I think there's pros and cons to some of that.
I think the gun obviously there's a time for volume where you need to get up a large volume of shots. But the danger is, like you said, if you're not evaluating, or if you have habits like offhand interference that is just making it come out differently, you're a 2-hand shooter, not a true 1-hand shooter, then you're getting volume up at the wrong things and reinforcing those bad habits.
Agree 100%. Yeah, I just say you're getting better at being bad.
Coach, there's so much gold. I love that. I'm going to definitely steal the Phoenix shooting. One thing I was wondering about that because I was actually just playing pig with one of my players a second ago, and I do a 3-point, you can't jump shot, but it just to demonstrate upper body, because a lot of your shot is your upper body, especially the older you get. But when I'm doing it, I feel like, so when I played, it was more of a jump shot. I'm jumping off the ground. I'm finishing up really high. But then when I do that, I feel like I go back to more of my set shot from my shoulder pushing through. When you're doing Hornets, like guys that are true jump shooters, do you see any difference with that game and maybe forcing them to shoot differently?
I haven't really thought of it that way. I do think like I always think if I get to here, it's going.
Yeah.
So whether I bring it up slow motion or it's off the dribble, I do think you're getting it to that pocket.
Mm-hmm.
George Lehman's an old school guy that I kind of grew up back before there was all this instructional video and all the things, the resources we have now, which was good because it necessarily didn't clutter my mind and it gave me some debate. He was awesome in terms of he was motivating. He was talking quick release, but he taught the one shot, the one motion method. Like from here all the way up, there's really no pause. We kind of that catapult. Like we don't catapult it, shot put it. We're kind of just one motion all the way through. But I do think there is a slight little like a lag or just it's minute.
It is. Yeah.
That's there on that to get your follow through. And it kind of just gets your ball to your shooting pocket or whatever. And that may be more off the dribble where if I catch a pass, I'm just right into it. And that's why maybe, when you miss on a gun, you're chasing it down, you're getting some off the dribble reps and things like that. So I think, I don't know if there's one way to shoot or not. I hear people talking and it gets my mind thinking on it. I'm kind of sold on this way just because personally for me, I feel like shooting is a skill anybody can develop. We might not can teach somebody to do something that requires great athleticism or I think it's a skill. It can be developed.
Yeah.
And something that, now you got to figure out how to get it off and you still got to play D, make passes. You still got to have these other tools in your belt. But shooting is a skill that I think anyone, if they're willing to spend the time, can get better at it. So we have a phrase, we just call it get lonely. Just get lonely. You just got to be you and the ball. If your phone's over there buzzing every 5 seconds, I don't mind if you have music playing, but I just like, there's something about hearing the switch, the ball, boom, 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 making a quick move, shot, chase it. I just think that's where the freedom, the imagination, you're just picturing yourself in all these scenarios in your mind as you're just in the flow out there. And now 10 minutes, 20 minutes turns into an hour and you really don't even want to leave.
Yeah.
Because you're locked in on what you're doing. So, some good stuff just on how to get better on your own. That's the great thing about basketball. You get a ball. I mean, even if it's just ball handling the driveway, the kitchen, the living room. And I said, when COVID happened, I said, this is going to
separate. Yeah.
Are you a basketball player? Or are you a person who plays basketball? A big difference.
I saw that post. I think you tweeted that. That's really stuck with me. And I think, the separation that happened during that spring and summer when guys just weren't being able to they weren't being told what to do. There wasn't structure. And what's funny about what you said, I think that's what we kind of, after you're done playing, you miss the most is you miss the ability just to get in the gym by yourself. I mean, Ray Allen said the path to becoming a great shooter is a lonely one, but that you fall in love with that. And as you get older, like I don't spend time working on my shot, but I miss that time for sure.
Yeah. I 100% resonate with that. Just being alone in the gym. Even now, if I'm here early or staying late, no one's around, I'll just get a ball and just kind of takes you back to we used to just be driving down, see a guy at a park and pull over. You want to play 1-on-1? Go 2-on-2. Like it didn't matter if it was concrete, rubber ball. It'd be nice net. But other than that, well, let's hoop. We just love. If you love the hoop, you love the hoop.
I'm sure you can still shoot it though. I'm sure you can still shoot it pretty well.
Yeah, just pride doesn't. I just don't want to ever get. I won't shoot if I don't think I can shoot. Hurt my feelings too bad.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the Jamodi podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.